like that. We'll give you the book, and we shall try this out.
They're not even there.
Blueprint for an Escort Service 2, Beyond the Original Blueprint by Vicky, Gallas. This book is dedicated to my son, Alex. A note from the author. Perhaps you are only reading my blueprint books so that you might develop an understanding about escort service operations. You could be a cop or simply a curious and interested reader. If opening an escort business for financial gain is your plan, though, you have chosen the correct material. My name is Vicky Gallas, and I have been involved in the escort business in one capacity or another since 1984, with the exception of a few years. Does that sound like a line from Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous? Could be, as I have found it complicated to fully get away from this business. I have had good times and bad times, and there is no doubt that I have learned from my experiences. This is a cheap way for you to get started in a potentially lucrative business. I have never had a book when I started. The original Blueprint for an Escort Service and this sequel make the process of opening and operating an escort service seamless and simple. One thing that I have discovered since I began writing about the escort business is that there isn't much real information out there. There are a couple of people that offer some really high-priced information, and I understand why they charge as they do. Why? Well, they know what you can make in the business, and they're not about to sell their knowledge cheap. Sometimes, according to a couple of my readers, it is what is referred to as TMI, too much information, and gets confusing. Some of the advice is not even correct. The advice and offers of help might be helpful in a good economy, but we must face the fact that life as we know it has changed in the United States. Those that write it can be knowledgeable yet out of touch, and they expect to be highly compensated for their time. I am assuming that you cannot afford to pay me to babysit you as you embark on this venture. And do you really need or want a babysitter? I do hope that you analyze the source when you decide what information to listen to and what to ignore. I have actually located books in which the blurb reflects little real knowledge of the business at all, as if the composer copy-pasted from a variety of sources and is in reality clueless. Some of the expensive material stretches the obvious into a mini project and makes the entire undertaking look overwhelming. With some other stuff, well, not everyone should try to write. I would like to think that my education has helped me in the structure and processes of writing clearly. I write about the escort business because I can't be in it. Yes, it's the case. I will forever be under a magnifying glass as long as I live in this country. It is also true that the case ate all of my earnings from a decade in the escort business in Orlando. Sometimes the money was good and other times it wasn't, but I will tackle that in depth here in Chapter 1. One reader contacted me recently and stated that I was still in the escort business. No, I explained that is simply not the case. He stated that he called my ad one night, so I asked him, did I send you an escort? He responded that, well, no, I didn't actually send anyone. That is why it's referred to as research. If I didn't involve myself in the industry, my information would be like old news, and no one is interested in old news. My involvement in the escort business today is for the sole purpose of research, more for my book concerning those awful telephone line blocks than for the blueprint books. Admittedly, I feel a certain satisfaction knowing that I am helping others open escort services. I would also like you to read memoirs. It is an important book that is non-fiction in its entirety. Understand what the morality police did to me, and then read my book about the blocks that will be finished before April 1st to understand why it was done to me. More information on that later on my blog. Sorry?
I said I already read the blog back. I can recite it backwards, forwards. And be taking a college quiz on it.
I suppose that I also write about the escort business because it is what I know, and most readers seem to appreciate my plain style of writing. I'm not here to win a contest anyway. Some of my advice herein is cautionary rather than legal. I'm not an attorney and cannot advise you on law, though I do know the escort business. I am all too aware that it is a defensive business. We're always guarding that line and making sure it's not crossed. You must always be on the defense. It is simply that type of business. Several chapters in this book are quite short. We do not intend to reinvent the wheel here, and if a topic can be explained simply, there is no need to expand it beyond its realm and complicate it for anyone involved. It is a short book because that's all it needs to be. The philosophy is the same as with the original blueprint, with special attention to working with a budget of $500 to $1,000 to get going in the escort business. I have expounded on some of the chapters in the original book and included a section on tech stuff to make life easier as it relates to this business. My goal is to help you make your plan fit a budget, get going quickly instead of next year, and run it legitimately. Many people are considering options that they would have scoffed at a year or two ago. It's all about the economy. As with the original blueprint, if you have a question that I have left unanswered, please feel free to email me. My information can be found on the last page. If you have 20 questions, it is no problem, but you will pay me via PayPal, and we can set a time to speak on the phone. I am harmless and have had conversations with several readers. I charge $40 to $50 for a full hour, and advise you to write any questions down before we speak. You can also use half of that hour at one time and the other half later, perhaps when you encounter issues or questions in the process of opening or initially booking calls. But the payment must be for a full hour. You can always pick my brain on anything related to the escort business, and I will give you a straight answer. This book is a straight answer.
My spider sense is tingling. That was the ending of the note from the author.
Yes.
That's what I was asking.
Alright, let's check the quality of this.
Stop recording video.
I got